Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back, and this is another video for people who want to heal from CFS or any other chronic illness. And I have talked in the last year with many people. Many people try to contact me and added me on Facebook, text me, called me or met me. And so yeah, I have noticed some things, and which all of you have in common who are trying to heal. And I want to start with the first movie. I'm going to make several movies about it, and the first movie is about joy as a healing state of consciousness. And I got this theory. Well, this is actually a theory that has been written by David R. Hawkins, and he wrote the book Power versus Force. Well, in his book he talks very spiritual about different states of consciousness. And for me, spirituality means being very, very grounded, being here, now, that's it. And not many theories, not many thinking. But he made a really nice model, which I think could be helpful for a while you're healing. So he made a map of consciousness, and he's actually more than once he wrote in this book that joy is the state of healing. And I'll give you a picture of this, what I'm looking at right now. So when you're having joy, it says here, like, your God view is oneness. Your life view is complete. The emotion you experience is serenity, and the process you experience is transfiguration. Well, that sounds very, very different than well, if you're afraid you're never gonna heal, or if you're someone who puts lots of protocols for diet or anything for it to heal. So let's put all the protocols and all your fears and everything to the side. I was traveling last year, 6 months out of 12. I was traveling, and I was still having fatigue, but I chose to, well, in the beginning I was like a little bit scared, so I was sleeping in hotel rooms and apartments, but I was like being in pretty cool places and just by myself there and being a bit tired, so what would I do? And then I went to lots of different hostels, because that's the place where you can meet people and have fun. Anyway, I laughed, I had fun, slept a little bit less, but who cared in the end. Only the first few nights I didn't sleep so well. And since then I've been traveling a lot. But I'm gonna make another movie about traveling with CFS. So all this laughing, I noticed my health is improving so fast. Like in a week time, my health is like so much better. I'm so much stronger, I sleep better, and I'm actually enjoying life a lot. And this state of joy I want to talk about, because in our society people talk about joy, but in actuality, according to the model of David Hawkins, they talk about joy that they've never experienced. So I wanted to talk about what joy really is and how to shift your state of consciousness really fast. I mean, it's not hard, you can do that. So what is joy? For me, joy means that I'm so involved in the moment, I'm so enjoying the moment, that I'm not thinking about myself or any other thing or any other time. So no tomorrow, no yesterday. This also means that I'm really dissolving myself into a process. The process of playing, the process of laughing, the process of talking, whatever it is. And after like the experience of joy ends, you move in a lower state of consciousness. You start thinking again, and you start planning again, and you forget that the joy was instead of like a way to pass the time, joy should actually like be a goal of yours in order to heal, or just to have a good life. I mean, that's what we all want in the end, right? Talking about the levels of consciousness, it goes down from shame, which is 20 points in this model, all the way to enlightenment, which starts at 700 to 1000 points. It goes up from shame to guilt, to apathy, to grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, and then finally joy, peace, and enlightenment. I don't want to bother you with enlightenment, because that will sort itself out once you're like all the time in a pretty high state. I want to talk about like the low levels, which I really experienced in my life, of course. And I think all of the lower levels are you enter because there's an emotional need which hasn't been met, and thus you start to think because you don't know how to deal with your emotions, and like your emotional needs not being met, and how to deal with that and with that grief or emotions, and you start thinking and you start creating thoughts about an imaginary person that you're actually not. And so in my eyes, emotional healing should always play a role in everything. But to go to playing really high, all the levels, they are there. There's nothing wrong with any of the levels. It's just not a healing state of consciousness. So if you're like in shame, and suddenly you feel an emotion of anger, which is pretty higher, like in comparison to shame on the level of consciousness. Are you talking yourself down? You should be ashamed of being angry. No, you should realize that anger is much higher than shame. Or if you're like being, if you feel like apathy for a while, or grief, and suddenly you feel fear and desire for life, that's higher. So don't judge that. Judgment is not judgments, theories are not they don't make it to the level of joy. There is no thinker involved anymore. So what do you do in the lightning process? People ask me about the lightning process, whether it's a scam or not. Is that you quickly learn how to change your consciousness into a state of love, joy, or peace. Peace is like being really calm, so your body can actually relax. Chronic stress and not even knowing that you're feeling stress or worried is like a thing that keeps CFS going. So yeah, think about joy. Think about you having joy. Create it in your head. Just playing. Remember when you were a child and you were just involved playing football or laughing or some jokes, and get involved into a situation that gives you joy. If hanging on your room 24 hours a day makes you feel pretty miserable, which is like not a really good state of consciousness, then try to do something else. Go sit outside, and as I talked about here and now, just try to do it. Try to be present. It's hard in the beginning, but it's so nice. And in my video, How to Stop Thinking, I completely eradicate all needs for thinking, because it's not really necessary most of the time, is it? And I recommend that video, of course. But for now, think about joy and think about what you can do to actually experience that. And yeah, for now, just see what you can do to feel joy, and this actually works. Like, I don't tell you stuff like theories and protocols that I haven't tested yet, at least for 2 years. So try joy and happy healing.